talked about stealth technology before. The use of composites, sharp angles and radar-absorbing paint to make military aircraft and surface ships almost invisible to the enemy. And we've talked about UAVs, unmanned air vehicles. Like this helicopter, they can fly entire missions by themselves. And now we're talking about this, a UUV, the world's first fully autonomous, unmanned, multi-mission stealth submersible. They've named it Talisman after the good luck charm. But if they ever send this baby against you, chances are your luck will run out. Talisman is a working prototype designed by BAE Systems in Portsmouth to showcase the British company's advanced technologies. Her propulsion and operating systems are being thoroughly tested before undergoing a second round of sea trials.
Unmanned vehicles are going to be absolutely key to future military doctrine.
That's no prediction. According to Talisman project manager Andy Tong, it's already happening.
Because increasingly it's becoming important to keep the man out of the danger area. It's important to drive the costs down. Now, if you take the Talisman vehicle, Talisman could actually replace a specialist mine-hunting ship. So the cost becomes very much lower.
And mine hunting is one of the mini-sub's primary roles. Able to carry several of these Archerfish guided torpedoes in its munitions bay, Talisman can move silently towards a minefield and fire them without risking human life or the loss of $1 billion ship. It's not that big, just under 5 metres long, but it's enormously strong. This carbon fibre hull is designed to operate at depths well in excess of 300 metres, and it's very nimble. Using these vectoring thrusters, it can hover or turn 360 degrees in its own length. As for speed, a little over 5 knots, which isn't fast, but manoeuvrability is far more important.
The reason for not going fast is the type of missions we're doing, the type of sensors we're carrying, say we need to be going slowly and deliberately. It also allows us to be a lot quieter than we otherwise would be.
Using high-tech collision avoidance and super-accurate navigation systems, unmanned aircraft can fly across the world and back in complete safety. Now, as BAE designed many of those systems, it was only natural they'd find a use for them in Talisman. Talisman is just as smart as many of its flying brothers. It can spend weeks at sea, following orders downloaded into its mission computers, or following new orders sent via satellite communications. And if it detects a threat, it can shut itself down and loiter on the seabed.
There are fail-safes built within the vehicle, built within its software, and built into hardware systems that are overriding the software to put you into a safe mode, shut down, go quiet, go deep, stay out of the way.
Talisman can only communicate effectively on the surface, so that's where it spends most of its time. Hence those stealth fighter looks to avoid radar detection.
Underwater is very difficult to communicate, so what we have to do then is send a very low bandwidth signal, which might travel for 30 kilometres or so, and to tell the vehicle to come to the surface and use the SATCOM system.
As for underwater obstacles, Talisman uses a sophisticated collision avoidance system. It's able to see the problem, think it through, and decide on a solution.
The sensors we carry are mainly acoustic, and they work on high-frequency sound, and they're detecting returns from the obstacle. The smaller the obstacle, the higher the frequency and the shorter the range.
While Talisman's primary role is surveillance and reconnaissance, its payload flexibility allows it to go from passive to active very quickly. So if the need arises, it can have a very nasty sting in its tail. Although BAE Systems is reluctant to discuss its full potential, they don't deny Talisman could carry a range of weapons in its internal munitions bay. But at this early stage of development, they're more concerned with reliability.
We spent 2 weeks away from base with 21 missions, running it in open water. Every mission was successful. It achieved everything we wanted it to do, and we had to go back and add in extra objectives as the tests were going ahead just to keep the guys happy.
For a third-generation prototype, Talisman is very impressive. But as future generations are developed, BAE Systems believes UUVs will dominate underwater warfare, adding sabotage, close-quarter combat and counter-terrorism to its mission capabilities.